and I could go and eat pie on that bridge. I'm actually afraid. I'm actually a little freaked out to do it. I'm actually a little freaked out. People have died here.
And it's right where you are right now.
For real. Hold on a second. Let me just get this up. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Yeah, creepy road.
Yeah, this is for real, guys.
10 days and thousands of man-hours have been unable to produce any clues.
We have a few leads, a few other options we want to take advantage of, and just try to put together some pieces as possible.
Do you believe the occult may be involved in the disappearance?
Graffiti on this bridge that says, "I do not want to die."
Fucking deer.
He broke me. It says, he broke me. Right here. He broke me.
Was that Mike writing about
When he was leaving Comicscape. Yeah, he broke me.
I don't know. What the fuck is this? Can you guys see this? It's a murder weapon.
What is it? Oh.
Ew, it's bloody. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting out of here, though, because this is kind of fucked up. Cecil, I hear voices out here, alright? I hear voices. I gotta get out of here.
What if Ethan was murdered and Andrea's at home watching this? Live.
Alright, let me see if I can get out of here. Yeah. You hear that?
Nosfero, does this word not sound like the death bird culling the living dead at dawn? It is the name both ghouls and demons dare not say, for they know it means death for the undead.
We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you? madhouse someplace. I hate to even think about it.
Hello, all you fine people. We're lighting a candle. We're getting the wax going. What's up,
I mean, if we're going to talk about the Waxworks, we should have some wax to pour,
Hold on a
shouldn't
second
we?
here. Wait a second. Welcome to the Waxwork stream.
Welcome!
There you go. That's for you guys.
Very good, very good, very good. I can tell you
Let's
practiced.
see who we've got here. Yeah, dude, I won't be able to turn my head tomorrow, but I'm going to tell you this.
Welcome
Kids.
to Waxworks.
Time to put on the reading sunglasses. So let's take a look and see who we've got here. In the chat, we had first up, excuse me, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. Hail and welcome to this wonderful stream where we're going to be talking about Waxwork. What a amazing fun film this is. Micra's here. Ahoy to you, Micra. We have got Stephen Rockwood drawing. Always here. Hail Shanth, hail Vaughn, hail chat. We say hail Stephen to you with a Chick-fil-A iced tea as we do. Let's see here. We've got Micra here. Hail to Micra. Michelle Johnson was hot in this. I want to live in the timeline where we have fun horror movies and hottie scream queens again. Vaughn disagrees. Vaughn?
Don't you tell me what I do and don't do, or who to do with who, or whatever zoo, you know? No, here's the thing. I was just thinking what this guy Mirkrust just said, because I was watching Waxworks today, and I was just like, damn, these are some hot, it's totally true. Hot chicks of that era were just everywhere, and they had a certain appeal and look that was just fantastic. So yeah, I miss it too, man.
Absolutely, yeah, guys. This has been it's so Curialt. It's great to see you, my friend. Let's see who else we've got here in the chat. It's Jumpin' Dragon Pisces. Great to see you. Hail. I hope you're having a good evening. We've got John. It's always a great stream when John is here. Lighting a candle. Did someone just go to the bathroom? I don't know. We'll have to stick around and see.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've got a bathroom candle for that thing.
Yeah, it's a different kind of candle. Yes. Hello, everybody. Yeah. Mirka is Russian.
Thank you.
Go.
Mirka.
Mirka.
That sounds so much better.
Yeah. Evening, everybody, says Mighty Geek Studios. General Piggy is here. We're going to have some simps in the chat, and it's a good thing. Not saying you, General Piggy. I didn't mean to click on that right as I said that, but there's a lot of love for the ladies of this movie. I know there was in my day, and we will definitely be talking about that. But first and foremost, let me just say, no, that's not how you say it, Shanth. Okay, it's Micra. Is that how I'm supposed to say it then? I've been saying it correctly. I love that.
Micra.
That's right. It's Mike Ra. There you go. Micra is correcting.
Oh, Mike Ra.
There you go. All right. See, look at you guys. You guys are keeping it real.
Like Mum Ra, but with Mike, the name Mike.
Exactly, that's right. It's
I am
exactly that. Yeah, bring on the hotties, I say. So this is the thing. First of all,
ridiculous, Shanth. This is a ridiculous cartoon movie, and I love it. It's so fun. I think it's more fun than it was when it came out.
It's let me just say real quick, what is up, Cowabunga, by the way? It is great to see you guys. Oh, it's Scottish, not Russian. There you have it. Look at this. We're learning about our chat today, as always.
I got to change accents when I say it. Damn it.
I know, man. And we're just going to share this little beauty of an image here. Let me just start by saying this. There's two movies. First of all, this is just a variation of Monster Squad. Just think about that for a minute. But now we're going to put that to one side. All right.
Okay.
There were two movies that were legendary that you heard about when I was a kid coming up before you saw them on VHS back in the Stone Ages. And those were Evil Dead, which we've covered. And the second one was Waxwork. Mm-hmm. When did you see this movie? What was its impact? And chat, let us know.
I think I randomly caught this thing on the HBO Cinemax days of playing weird late night horror. And it was just one of those ones that was so perfect because when you're a kid, you know, you want to see some hot chicks, and this movie had them. And I don't remember if there's nudity. I can't remember. I don't think there is. No, I don't think there is. So it was perfect for kids. And it was what was interesting about it was that it covered all the monsters, you know what I mean? Or not all the monsters, but it covered a lot of cool, different, creepy things that we hadn't seen before. And it was a cool lineup of creatures. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing. And John, my screen caps, I do not have many. My screen caps are grabbed by myself. And this is, and Minnie is great. We love Minnie over on Double Impact, and hail to Minnie, and hail to our new co-host over there, Jericho Green, man. We're going to have some fun. So yeah, absolutely. And what's up, the Art and Times of Jay Ryan? Great to see you. But yeah, so I saw this movie on VHS, and the things that I heard about, this was the first time I heard about a certain historical figure. And I said, what is that? You know, I was a kid when this movie came out. And I remember hearing about there were werewolves, and everybody talked about, the big scene everybody talked about was the scene with the vampires and the fella being found down in the cellar. But
we'll call it the cellar. Sure.
Yeah, middle of the cellar.
The wine cellar. The blood cellar.
Oh, yeah. So why don't you give everybody just a brief overview while we hang out on this image.
It's basically, Waxwork is a 1988 film starring the dude from Gremlins who played Billy.
Yep.
Playing like a weird, like totally like wannabe player thug teenager who's always popping cigarettes and drinking coffee and trying to be a badass, but like he can't score. None of the ladies are taking him seriously, even though he's rich and I don't know, whatever. It's weird. He's a weird character, man. He's kind of nonsense, you know. I don't even know really about his arc. I don't care, because this movie's it's not scary to me, man. This movie, I just laugh like the whole time, and I love it. I think that's what I love about it. It's like going through a haunted house with all the different little sections and horrors to it, right? And the movie has a great sense of humor about itself, which I love.
Yes, it does.
And yet it's still a very sexy movie too, which I think is just extra awesome. So
I think we could take that and flip it and just start with the first part. This is a ridiculously sexy film that shows no nudity. And what's I found really interesting about this flick, now it could be just simply, and thank you for putting the link to that in the chat, guys. We're at, I think we're at 28,650, and Vaughn is one backer away from 1,200 backers. The question is, are we feeling lucky? That's the question I have for all of you fine folks. So this is the thing for me, is that I thought that the, agree with you 100% on all that. And I will say this, that the female characters in this movie had more of a story arc than any of the guys. I don't know if that's because they were underwritten, but the guys were underwritten, but man.
Yeah.
You know,
metaphorically, they went through way more than the guys.
Yes.
the guy was just classic, like, love triangle. Classic. Like the girl you think you want is really not the one for you. You really want the cute girl next door. Is the whole story.
Sure.
Right? Is that right?
It's kind of right. Yeah, she is kind of the cute girl next door. I mean,
but she has a dark side.
She does. So Vaughn,
we'll get into that.
I stand corrected again. The chat is always, and hello, Ellie. Mr. Monkey Boy is just correcting me. Tari, how is it going with you? It's great.
Correcting the hell out of you tonight.
Yeah, people just are always correcting me because when I'm wrong.
That is
we're
correct,
at 1,200 backers on Terror in the Trenches, people. And I gotta say this.
Oh, that's new.
Say it. What do you think of this?
Dude, we have a hit, and I can't thank all of you enough, because this book, you're going to get it sooner than later. And if you miss out on it, I think people are going to get pissed off, Shanth, when they realize they missed the first one. But the second one is already being drawn. We're going to be able to launch the second campaign not too long from now, I hope. So let's get it done, guys. I'm already talking to the printers. We're working on everything. Everything's getting set up. Guys, I mean, did I do okay on? I mean, we're getting this out fast, I'd like to think, and you're getting a lot of quality for your money. So
I've got to put on my serious glasses now for a moment. Let me just say this.
Okay, Dr.
You
Sean.
guys are going to go into a rage that you've never experienced before, and then a period of grief if you fail to back this book and Nosfero the Crypt Walker. There, I've said it. But because we have hit a big milestone, Vaughn, this is for you. Beautiful. Who is the backer who kicked us over? Because I know you're in this chat. Who is it? Identify yourself, you beautiful person. Mr. Monkey Boy, was it you? Who was it? Who was it? Terror in the... Yes,
it's
indeed.
the tits, guys.
It is. Yep, Shanth will know the pain of people feel when they realize they missed those. I knew it was you, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. Hail, we bow to you, my friend.
Appreciate
bow to you. Wonderful. So you threw us off course only for a moment. So yes, we have a character, and the basic premise for this is pretty simple, as Vaughn was saying. You've got that's right. You've got a waxwork that moves into the neighborhood as they do. It is there is an insidious and evil story or backstory to this thing, which is there's a.
I love how casual everyone is about it. Like, oh yes, the neighborhood waxwork. Yes, another one of those. Like, they must be really rich if those are just a common neighborhood occurrence in that neighborhood, man.
Oh yeah, and I have to say this too, right? If Hale like pick one, great to see you.
Butler, you're rich.
Yeah, he's got a fat butler like all 80s guys do, but he doesn't have a good tailor because the shoulders on that coat need to go in just a hair. But so there's this waxwork, and the story about this place is there's a very tall gentleman and a very, very tiny gentleman who are the assistants of the person running it. It is run by a very evil man, and what they can do is if you go to the waxwork, you step over the barrier into one of the exhibits. What will happen is you will be sucked into it and killed by the creatures in the waxwork. And then it will unlock another level of opening the gateway to bring all of these historical fantasy evil creatures out into the real world.
Why are we bringing them out into the real world? To party.
To party.
I mean, did they explain that part? Why they wanted to? Or no?
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Vaughn?
Did they explain why they were bringing them out into the real world?
I'm sorry, I got distracted. Wait, what was it you were saying again?
Dude, would you stop? Stop! Her boobs aren't even in this shot.
It doesn't matter to me. This was the 80s. A turtleneck and chain could get it done.
She's hot. So,
yeah.
Dude.
That's close. That's right. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though? Think about this for a minute, because we had this discussion when we were talking about Under Siege the other night. And I don't know if you're aware of this film, but there's Erica Liniak comes out of a cake at one point. But for the remainder of the movie, she is in SWAT fatigues. And we were joking about how there was something just so beautiful about 80s and 90s gals that they didn't need to show as much to get your attention, to stop traffic. And both of these gals could not be more covered or 1950s in this. Kind of unbelievable. Chain yanking sounds kinky. We'll get to that.
Well, we got to get to them revealing themselves later in the movie. Mm-hmm. And then this freaking Willy Wonka impersonator just comes out of nowhere like, hey, you want to look at my waxworks? He like does the worst creepy dead-eyed stare pitch ever that would scare anyone. And for whatever reason, the hottest chick in the world, the chick with a beautiful, perfect eyebrow, Italian-looking chick, she's like all over it. She's like eating this up.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And he's like, come after midnight. Bring like your friends. No more than 6. No more than 6. And she's like, okay. And so she represents kind of our naughty girl. And of course, they already have her in black and the movie's just begun. She was like the hot, naughty girl who's broken up with our main character and is exploring other dudes and breaking his heart and shit. And then we've got the other girl in like the 50s skirts who's like, you know, Miss Next Door, America Pie. They couldn't have layered it any thicker, man, than this. And yet, to be honest with you, I always liked it better when Sandra Dee showed up in all black at the end, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So I'm rooting for him to get with all like perfect eyebrows over here on the right and with the black turtleneck. Hell yeah. Let's write poetry, girl, on the bleachers. Anyway. So here they are pretending to be the Breakfast Club with way less charisma. No offense, but still, they're stylish kids and they're definitely rich. and bored and want to be bad, and that's the fun. And they're smoking and trying to be badass, and she's like banging like the football player already or something, and he's like waving from below, like, "Hey, what's up? I'm plowing your girl."
Is that Brittany Venti? Someone was asking. No, it's not. I can confirm that it's not. I'm trying to guess which one we're talking. Oh, I think I know who we're talking about. The second one over from the left, I think, is who we're talking about. Not that guy in the red vest, if I'm not mistaken. That picture looks like Downey Jr. and Rob Lowe. I agree with you 100%. That is essentially what they were doing.
Less than zero look.
Yeah, I mean, and let's talk about that for a second. You know, the too short pants, you know, with the jacket. Like the 80s, this was amping up the Echo 50s part of the 80s, in my opinion, you know, when you're looking at this. Because these like these guys, we were really into that 50s period in the 80s. And so they decide, we're going to go and check out this Waxwork. And of course,
he's trying to win her back over, and he's doing a terrible job. She's like, I need something else. An older guy, perchance.
Yeah, she's
you can tell he's like, she's outgrown him. You can tell, you know.
Yes,
and that's it. That is more interesting. It is for sure.
Yeah, he's a kid. He's got money, but he's wearing daddy's jacket, as we've pointed out.
He's just used to getting what he wants, dude.
He's used to getting what he wants, and she wants an older, more mature, and sophisticated man. And I think that was what was hinted when she was wearing her all black kind of beatnik. You know, looks like she works in a gallery kind of look. And the 80s.
Cool. Good times.
And so they find themselves, and there's our other poor unfortunate soul.
Okay, so this is them showing up after midnight at the Waxwork. Two of the friends freak out just from the sight of it and bail.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, well, we'll go in. And the show gets freaky from there. Whoa, we just jumped ahead. Okay.
I know that's these are the screen caps.
So these are what we got. So they go in, and this weird little man is like, "Welcome to Waxwork," and it's badass. It's perfect.
Yeah,
it makes the movie. That's what they use for the poster. You'll see that on the VHS copy. The little guy opening the door, kind of inviting you in. It was really cool, very iconic, very cool. His voice is perfect. It's very memorable. Anyway, so they walk. The doors finally open. They walk in, you know. And of course they split up because it's time for them to just do their own thing and get lost in the exhibits. And all of them end up in the exhibit in one way or another, pretty much, I think. Almost all.
Oh, yeah.
Not all of them. But yeah, almost
all of them. And so we should talk a little bit about, for those of you guys that you know are fans of this like we are, this premise of this movie is very much, you got to locate this movie in the heyday of the 1980s and special effects in the 1980s. And you could make an effects-driven movie, and there were all these incredible artists. And so while this didn't have a huge budget, the effects in this and some of the set stuff is incredible. And we're going to get into this. The one thing about it that was funny to me in terms of like how this movie came together was the fact that a lot of times for the wax figures in the background is where you saw the cost cutting, because they were just people trying to hold still. But but that was
it just adds to the laughs.
Oh yeah, just try not to move, you know. And
hold the axe up.
We get our first character getting sucked into one of the exhibits, and we have the outstanding Gimli. For those of you guys who know your acting, John Rhys Davies, who is from Sala from Indiana Jones, Gimli. He's in about 1 billion and one things. He actually even played
voice.
So good. Wonderful actor.
Perfect.
Yeah, and great practical effects. Just outstanding practical effects.
So if you want to see a hairy man get a lot hairier, you're in the right exhibit, my friend.
You bet. And so this was my favorite part. This is what I wanted to see. And you know, friends would just describe it to you, like, and then he just rips this guy in half. But he's a werewolf.
This is a great werewolf. This is for the werewolf fans. We start off with something for you guys, which is cool. That's what I am. I'm a big werewolf fan too. That's how my friend got me to watch this. Or whenever, like, I'd already seen it when I was a kid, but like later he'd be, you know, my horror movie buddy would always be like, dude, let's watch the werewolf scene. It's pretty great. It's pretty hilarious too. It's it's such a comedy of errors. The guy in it, he knows he's trapped in something, and he's like, God, this sucks. Like, what about the Bahamas? Nice girl, a bikini. No, I'm like carrying wood, full moon, cold like mountains. This sucks. Like he knows this sucks. Like at least in a vampire one, you might get some titty before you die, right? But in this one, no, like he's carrying in firewood. Sala in there is like turning into a freaking like lupine monstrosity. And he comes in with the firewood like an idiot and is like, oh, where'd you go? Don't you want to talk? He like wasn't catching on that he was in a werewolf horror movie yet still.
He didn't see it. Yeah.
And it's like a cheesy werewolf horror movie that he has no power over. He's just part of it at this point because the werewolf comes out, attacks him. He tries to like make it fetch a bone. It's totally cartoony and hilarious. It finally bites him. And as it does, like the oldest man in the world comes running in with his idiot assistant. And he's like, because it's a bad werewolf movie that they're trapped in, not a good one, right? He's like, the bullets, hand me the bullets. And they always have the silver bullets in this like nice box because no, stupid. Let me tell you something, Sean. If I'm going werewolf hunting, I'm putting the bullets in before I go hunting. Before the moon even rises.
If I go hunting werewolves, the second I see the werewolf, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of my pajamas and then I'm bring my clothes with me, get dressed, right? Then kind of comb my hair a little bit, then I'll be dead. But no, it's this is
and then you say, hand me the box, and the idiot hands him the box, and then the old man goes, fruity doody, and like drops all the bullets. So it's just this totally useless scene of like, it's like Joe Biden trying to save us from a werewolf for like half a minute, and he's the slowest werewolf killer ever.
Well, he moves a little faster. We don't need to throw that.
Well, then later, all of a sudden he's like, damn.
No, but I will say this, man. John, this is a important safety tip from your friend John in the chat.
The silver bullets in before the werewolf encounter.
Prepare before action. What a novel idea. Do this? Yep. And Micra's got us here with, when was the last time we had a legit practical? Oh God, don't make me cry, Micra. Legit practical effects monster movie. Was it really Underworld? And I think you probably are.
No. Like, did you see The Void?
Oh, I haven't seen The Void yet. Is it good?
No, it's painful. It starts off really good, but overall it's just kind of a bad movie. Bad writing, but watch it for the practical effects.
Yeah. It's but now this is an interesting thing though. This just
Ash vs. Evil Dead used tons of practical.
What about Cabin in the Woods?
I'm sure it did. Well, they were used some CGI too, but I don't know. I haven't watched.
I think they had a practical.
The new Evil Dead movie's coming, and that's going to have practical effects. It's called Evil Dead Rise, and it's finished shooting.
What I will say about this is, guys, this stuff will get made when we make it. And the thing for me is when people are like, when I found myself sitting around going, when am I going to see a fully painted comic book? Like they're out there, but I mean, for me, Richard Corbin. Painted comic book, like the stuff where you could just get into the creepy, crazy, monsters and creatures. That's what I was wanting to see. And it's just a question of making it. It's the same thing with Terror in the Trenches. Waxwork is a movie that is all about just, we're basically, it's an anthology within a linear story, for lack of a better way of putting it. It's a little bit like Lost Pages in that way, where you've got all these exhibits, and in the exhibit, there is a self-contained story, almost like Twilight Zone mini episodes that are crammed inside of this bigger overarching story. And a way to sell it, Vaughn. Is it good? No. I love that.
I didn't like this, like what the story or whatever it was. Watching the practical effects they made for that was a treat. It was incredible work. It was the kids like you and me, Shanth, that grew up on this stuff have become horror makeup artists, and they do practical effects. Ash vs. Evil Dead is a good example of lots of more practical effects than you would expect.
Yeah,
you should watch the behind the scenes.
You're absolutely right, and I'm going to tell you this too. It's funny. Micra said first danger sign of The Void was Lovecraftian. Nobody understands what that actually means anymore. So
it became kind of a bad trend. a little bit.
The best thing that could have happened to me when it comes to Lovecraft, and think about this, man. I went to college at the college referenced in Call of Cthulhu. Okay, like that's where I went to college. My mentor, who was 50 years to the day older than me, one of my teachers, his studio was in the studio that the person who sculpts Cthulhu was in the story. That's how many connections. Oh, and my first apartment after I got married is referenced in what is it called? The Shunned House.
Are you like dropping your big Cthulhu balls on us right now?
No, here's the big thing though. This is the biggest part of it.
HP love.
Ready for a turn.
Testes.
Here comes that turn.
Okay.
Here comes
what
the
do you
turn.
do?
The first
Turn,
Lovecraft book I read and fell in love with was The Thing on the Doorstep, which was the least cliche Lovecraft book to start with by accident. It was the one that caught me and sucked me in. And so when I thought of Lovecraft, my first thought was never the stuff that typically gets associated with it. It was the creepy idea of someone multi-generationally body jumping. You know, it's a terrifying story if you haven't read it. And so it's interesting. You're right. I do agree with that, Micro, that Lovecraftian is something that most people only think of, you know, tentacles and Cthulhu and that kind of thing, when in reality, it's a particular type of horror of being able to, you know, lose yourself completely to something.
Cosmic. It's partially cosmic horror.
Makes the cosmic personal.
The fear of the unknown.
What? Turns out Waxwork is a few different free without ad streaming services. There you go. Excellent, man.
Yeah, you could just write watch Waxwork free, and then Tubi will bring it up, and you can just watch it on Tubi for free right there on your browser if you want.
So glorious.
Tubi's brilliant like that. Yeah. Anyway, back to the Waxwork.
To the Waxworks.
Anyway, so the oldest werewolf hunter ever kind of ends up killing our boy, because our boy he starts changing from the werewolf bite and just kind of going in the corner, kind of stuck. And so old man werewolf killer just kind of walks up to him and is just like, God have mercy on your soul. Bam, you know,
and he's like, oh no,
end of exhibit. Like that's
end of exhibit.
It changes now to show this, like, probably the werewolf hunter killing the werewolves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you something. The thing for me, oh my gosh, well, Dragon Pisces, yeah, absolutely. Come back when you're on the other side of that. So, and hey, Green Laser, great to see you. And Hail, yeah, so that was the thing for me. Okay, so I love werewolves. That sequence was my favorite. Odd thing to think when you watch this movie. Man, that's the exhibit I'd want to get killed in. But that's kind of where my mind was at this point. And the dude was sort of yeah, exactly. Yeah. Was nonchalant with the with, you know, most of that. But when he gets bit and he starts to turn, it's almost like, what does it take to get this person to realize, you know, that they're mortal, that this is real and not everything is just fake. And that's what the goriness and grittiness of this kind of was designed that way. And it's a great sequence. So now we move on to Miss, I want a higher class fella. And here we go.
And the universe answers. Dracula and his bitches are here to teach you to drink blood, pretty much.
That's it.
Have a little blood feast and get it on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is how she gets her sort of, oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? She goes there.
Life lesson?
Life lesson is the best way to put it. Yeah. She
Death
goes
lesson?
into this aristocratic environment. Dracula is there and she is finally dressed the way she wants to be with the right people. Everything is how she wants it to be.
So sexy.
And this is
no indoor plumbing, no electricity. Everything it's everything she wants. Screw this chick. And that's what this is. It's classic Monkey Paw horror movie storytelling, guys. She finally gets what she wants, and it's just a guy that can't wait to suck her blood dry and turn her into another one of his biatches. But this is a pretty fun one because it could have been so cliche, and then he just lures her in and bites her, maybe a little sexiness. No, this is a full-on like fight for survival type scenario, running through the castle like a crazy person. It's awesome.
But first, my favorite part, man. She sits down at the table and they serve her a bloody chunk of meat. And she is trying to Oh gosh, there was this funny. Excuse me. There's this funny
Communion
question.
with the demon, man. Communion. With the
Yeah, totally. But there's this funny neuropsychological test question that I am convinced I know how Amber Heard answered it. That it's like this. It's famous. It's they ask you, are you a fan of this poet's work? And it's a totally made up name. This poet doesn't exist, to see if you'll go along with it. She's like that in this. She sits at the table and she goes, "Oh wow, I haven't had steak tartare in forever." And you get the sense maybe she hasn't ever had it, but she's trying to seem like she knows what it is. And the vampires look at each other and go, "Oh, yeah. Steak tartare."
Yeah, but the guy says it like this. He's like, "Oh, yes, steak tartare." Like every line the guy delivers, it's like some sort of weird romance novel thing. It's hilarious. This movie, and it's kind of sexy too. It's like what she wants, you know. I thought of that scene as her kind of rationalizing it so she didn't want to believe that it was blood. You know, I feel like she knows what steak tartare is because she's a rich asshole, dude. Just a guess.
Well, how does she realize, Vaughn, what she's just had to eat? When does that reveal?
I can't remember. When is it?
She goes down into the basement and she hears the calling of her missing lover, Jonathan, I'm assuming, Mr. Harker. And he's down there. He's like, "Oh, please come down here, but don't look, my darling." And when she turns on the light.
It's like the most well-lit basement ever, too. It's like, do you have a picture of it, perchance?
No, I don't have a picture of it, and I don't know what I could particularly show of it. I couldn't show the wide shot, but these are all the shots I had. And his leg from the knee down, you guys are going to hear about it how I heard about it on the playground. His leg from the knee down to the bone has had meat taken off of it, and that's what she realizes.
And
she's been
strapped to a table screaming. And he's like, "Don't touch it! Don't touch it!" The actor is just acting his balls off. You're probably never going to see him in film again. He knows this. He's just letting you have it, overdoing every line. It's horrific because you're like, dude, the dude's legs got it. They're slowly eating him. That is pretty horrific, but it's hilarious.
It is. There's a rat on his leg, and she's like shooing it away, and
he's like,
this is the best part about this is that this is one of the best lineups of metaphor for me in this movie. She's going to the place where all these people are. They're living off of other people. They are in their basement is this world of horrors that she can't see, of decadence, of consuming other people, these vampires.
Vampire shit.
And she is being seduced by it. And when you get to the end of this sequence with her, she's seen the horror. She's killed some vampire girls. Hey, what's up? It's Courtney. Great to see you. And she's completely, sucked into this world, like she's trying to escape, like she's in it physically. And then the vampire, she finds herself in front of the vampire character, and every basic.
She fights, man, to the death. She kills his bitches. She smashes a table, uses the legs as stakes. I mean, in the 80s, women didn't mess around.
They didn't mess
around. They didn't just fall over all the time. They like, she's fighting to the death. She slays all of them pretty much. And I think it takes Dracula to finally just be like, steak tartare, and just take her down.
So this is a question that I kind of have, because we're in 1988. We're in the echo of
the spray from here, dude.
You can in the aftermath of the 70s. And what was really interesting about this movie that I think made it so risque, there was not a lot of stuff like it at the time, is that you've got these two women. One of the characters was broken up with our boyfriend, and I got to be honest with you, I can see why. We've got China is her name, which it's the 80s. And so you've got China, who's broken up with Mark, who is our Gremlins actor. And then you've got Sarah, and both of them are looking at the guys they're around. Both of them look at Mark at one point, and they're, at various points, and kind of like, no, I'm looking for something else. And what that something else is with China, we have a very good sense of. It's Sarah who we don't have. And what was kind of fascinating is the form that the men take in the, oncoming or current era of Fabio is pretty fascinating in terms of they're basically variations of degree on the bodice ripper, so to speak. You know, I mean, they look like romance novel covers, you know, but, plus some horror. So very fascinating.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Who dies next, Shanth?
Who dies next? I love the way he said that. Must have been all of the mayonnaise in the hair from the 70s. Oh, God, yeah. So now we jump ahead to, I think they're the only two who go. The other two friends bail. And then that leaves us with Sarah and Mark. And Sarah and Mark leave. They're like, where the heck are they? We got to get out of here.
They
bail.
leave.
Yeah.
And then the guy, the linebacker that's been plowing his ex or whatever, I think shows up looking for her. Like, hey, I got my collar popped and everything. I'm ready to get laid again by her. Where is she? Do you have her? Where?
She's behind him.
Right. It smells waxy in here.
It smells waxy.
Like
What's up? Yeah. Oh, I gotta skip that part. And and so he will be missed. So
then he gets got.
And we've got 3. And so what ends up happening is we get a private investigator who comes in looking to find out what's going on in this place. And he finds China, where she's a part of the wax exhibit. And this was one of those creepy, cool scenes where he looks at her and goes, this looks like this girl that's missing. And so he digs up the face of the wax, and you can see muscles and tendons underneath that's wax.
It's like wax, bro.
Yeah.
You can pull out wax ovaries on her, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be really weird.
It was creepy. Yeah. This is like the inverted murder mystery. Yeah, it totally is, man. And hail Noah, NTM Comics channel. So when you see that.
What's cool about it, too, is how it relates to real life horror. I don't know. A lot of people maybe have heard the tale. It's kind of gone into folk history a little bit of the weird guy who had stolen the body of the young girl who died suddenly that he was in love with, he was obsessed with, and he was keeping her preserved as well as he could. Yeah. And what was rotting away, he was replacing with wax.
Yeah. It's some creepy stuff. And of course, Mark is trying to talk to Sarah. And
don't feed him after midnight. Sorry, wrong.
Don't feed him. Yeah, exactly. And Sarah's saying, I don't like Christmas. And Mark's like, well, why don't you like Christmas? No, I'm kidding. No, it's a different flick. Different, darker flick. And
then the cop gets fucking thrown into your awesome mummy story. There's an actual hot British babe in that. The old man actually packs heat. He's got a gun, but you have to go get it from his bag or something.
He had to. It had to.
It's another comedy of errors. Like it's another. You get trapped in a movie, and nothing you can do can stop that. The monster's gonna win, pretty much.
Yeah, and these things are like the Terminator. You know, they're not like it's not like your your average mummy. The werewolf in this movie decimates everybody. You know, the mummy in this movie smashes a guy's head. Like this guy is on the ground trying to worship him. Cool. And he just puts his foot on his head. Boom. And you see all of these various characters happening. So this is, it's a period piece, sort of like the original Mummy movie, but it's with newer effects and it's far more terrifying. Yeah. And that was the thing that was crazy. And the sequence is great. It ends up where the cop goes into exhibit that has not had a person swallowed into it yet. So it's available. And when he goes in there, he's in this mummy movie with, again, a British young lady that, again, I forgot to add her to the list. It's kind of amazing. And then they get sealed in the sarcophagus by the living mummy with this spiders, snakes, and this non-living mummy. Great, man.
Sucks.
Did Gunther von Hagens consult on this movie? There you go.
What monster did you want to kill you? The werewolf?
Werewolf, yeah. You wanted to die in there, right, with the British lady.
Werewolf. Well, it'd be cool to be killed by multiple werewolf women, maybe vampire women. You know,
I sense a story, Vaughn. I sense a story brewing. And hail, American Comics Company. You're always in good company when American Comics Company is there. That's what I always like to say. And so we now are down. What they're trying to do is get enough victims into enough of these exhibits so that they can create this bringing back of the evil, which we are going to learn about at some point from the secret group. Meanwhile,
this chick. Now,
Sarah,
this chick, is this the chick from Valley Girl?
I think she is, yes.
Okay. She's interesting. I get why they cast her as like the good girl in all these movies and everything.
Yeah.
I always felt like she looked a little old compared to the other, and like she didn't strike me as cute good girl. She always struck me as like kind of weird, off-putting girl. Like I never liked her. I don't know. It's not that she's unattractive or anything. She's not unattractive at all. She's just like let me put it to you this way. She's obviously was like a manic pixie dream girl for half a minute in the 80s and was in all this stuff as like the girl, like who was like what the guy wanted to win by the end. And I just don't get it. That's all I'm saying. Like,
this is very
she
true.
feels like a mom or like a teacher, not like a high school kid.
Mr. Monkey Boy 1969 does have some historical facts there. Which was
true?
The case. That is true. Yes.
Okay. Well,
Vaughn's like,
this is all the answer I need. Like,
there you have
please.
It. There's your answer. Continue.
Everything, it makes perfect sense. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
How does she get Valley? No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Yeah. She's just not Michelle Johnson.
Well, the thing that's another thing. Now, if she was a really good actor and had the charisma, I would find her more attractive for sure. But she's not even a good actor either. So I'm just sitting there kind of going, why were you a thing for half a minute in the 80s? Like, why did you? I guess
John
she just
has
had
it.
She had it. Those eyes are piercing.
Those eyes are piercing, and I will say this too. You know, as far as this goes, her acting in this, I don't know what her acting was like in other movies because I've only seen her in this. And yeah, Vaughn's like, I want to
see her eye. They are kind of pretty, man. I mean, they're like greenish with some little flecks. I mean, they're kind of nice. They're nice.
She is my type, man. I gotta tell you, green
eyes
with flecks. No, green eyes with flecks.
You like
my type is in the next room.
Like creamy jade.
Yeah. Well, that movie, we've talked about it, but I talked about that with Gabe.
Ever.
That movie is what, like, I'm convinced imprinted on me. You need a girl with green eyes. And I was like, all right. Like, I was a kid and I went and made that happen. I was listening to Jack Burton and Lopez.
I've had more than a few girls with green eyes, man. Do you know I have green eyes? If I go with a girl with green eyes, we have a pretty good chance of having kids with green eyes.
So I think your key is, Vaughn, if this is a mirror universe, you need to find yourself a nice,
what am I talking about?
half Indian, 1/4 Puerto Rican, Austrian girl, and then we'll balance the universe that way, man. Like, I've got the green eye gal. You just take care of the other half of the equation.
Yeah.
But, Vaughn doesn't really get what the deal was with her.
I'd rather be single.
And
what? The deal with her is that she looks like she's just an innocent, teenage girl until the Marquis de Sade gets his whips around her.
Yeah.
This guy. What'd you think of this guy? He's pretty good at playing creepy.
I saw the behind the scenes about him, and the thing that cracked me up the most was there was this Shout Factory did great release, although this is a public service announcement, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody. This movie, this movie and Near Dark both suffer from not having good movie posters. And I'll tell you why. The little dude by the doorway, great. Inside the doorway, nothing to do with this movie at all. And it's just faces, not the actors' faces, in wax. And I will tell you this, man. When they released the Shout Factory release, I was like, please give this a new poster, because they often give you the original and an alternate and they didn't. But this guy who plays the Marquis found himself with a producer friend of his at a certain kind of party, wherein the people at the party partake in things that the Marquis was famous for. And he said when he walked in, and he's just in his casuals, right? He walks into the party, everybody at a party that was like M&M's, but it's not 2 M's. And he was at this party, and he walked in, and everybody at the party stopped and started clapping. They all recognized him from Waxwork. He was this icon hero, and I just died laughing when he was telling that story. I go, That's weird. They were like, it's the Marquis. The Marquis is here. I was like, oh my Lord. So yeah, apparently left an impression.
Well, yeah, man. People in LA love the Marquis de Sade. He's like their patron saint de Sade, man.
Mm-hmm. So we have revealed there's this
sodomy.
Great sequence with Sarah. Vaughn's just taking it home, man. He's just bringing it there.
Isn't that his book? Isn't that what the Marquis wrote?
Marquis
did you read the writings of the Marquis?
No, it didn't. Didn't cross
you
my
didn't get
desk.
into him because of this movie. My friend got into him because of this movie.
No, man, not my cup of tea. I was like, I mean, because it was just okay. Here's what ruins all of this stuff, man. And I don't know if you were like this.
The syphilis.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. I was the kind of piss and vinegar person to where if somebody told me that this thing was new and hip from a certain corner or a certain circle, I avoided it like the plague just because it annoyed me. And it was one of those things, you know what I mean? Like, we're so bad, we're so tough, we're like that. And I was like, eh. But when I saw this flick, I have to tell you, that was something that I had not ever seen, and obviously at that point in a movie before, which is Sarah's this goody two shoes. Mark asks her out and goes, you know, hey, you know what, or tries to kiss her, and she goes, no, it's not that you're not handsome, it's something else. Just there's something else I'm into, or I want, or something. And then you cut.
Voice is hilarious. Okay, it's
as good as I
There's
can
something else in it. No, she goes. There's something
else.
I'm just looking for something else. That's it. Out of a man, out of a guy, something like that. Yeah, she's very sweet and genuine. That's what we love her.
But she gets sucked into this, and he has to come and rescue her after he gets out of his own mess, because he gets shoved into Night of the Living Dead. Tell me about this sequence.
I mean, I don't remember it very well. I just remember it was cool.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we went in the middle of an 80s movie to a black and white homage to Night of the Living Dead.
It's just a testament again to the influence of it. Even in the 80s, there were this whole generation of filmmakers who loved it, who were, you know, paying their homages, you know. It was already genre defining, and back then Romero was making his zombie movies and still doing kick-ass stuff. So this was just fun too. It was. Waxwork was fun to watch, you know, because it always shook it up. You know? So it was spinning around. So
for me, what I liked about this sequence was Mark was very much a blank slate of a character. And when you thought about what world he would get thrown into, it's almost like he was the character that fit in this iconic, you know, world of the zombie movie. In a lot of ways, maybe that's part of it. Maybe he is the zombie in this, you know? And Night of the Living Dead is absolutely in the intro to Horror at the Waffle Lodge, guys. Yeah, I paired that with Anthony Perkins' Psycho, because I love that movie. I love the look of it, the story of how it got made. It's one of my all-time favorites. Love that flick. And so he gets pushed into this, and of course, like with every other sequence, it's a grosser, more gory, more, you know, visceral, because of the effects that we had in the 80s, you know, version of that movie. Although that's tough to say with Night of the Living Dead, don't you think?
Yeah, it goes either way.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff though. Fun kills, you know. He's running around, you're rooting for the hero. He's manning up finally. He has to. It's great.
Yeah. And then
meanwhile, his girl is going through 1,001 days of sodomy.
Yeah, she's experiencing much.
Things you can only imagine.
Things you can only imagine. Yeah, and this feels like this is out of sequence. Sorry, man. This is like
it feels
what
like
the hell's going on there? Oh no, sorry, that wasn't out of sequence. This is the next jump once they get out, and
that was one of the zombie hands from it.
Yes, yeah, and that's one of the zombie hands that gets free. And then we have, unfortunately,
they can come out. You know, it's your little hint. You know, like they're ready. They're getting, you know, ready to come out, guys, and it's going to be nasty.
Absolutely. Shout out to Vaughn CFA. There you go.
What's the CFA?
Where should we go with this? I don't know.
Cat Friend Alliance.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to get some clarification on that. When I see this, I go, and the thing that got me about this is, so they escape. However, while they were escaped, our two friends who freaked out and didn't want to go in there come in for a visit. They get shoved in, and it's time for all hell to break loose. And so we end up with the girl who was sitting in the bleachers. Let's go back through time here. There we go. We end up with this young lady right here with the curly hair. She goes into she gets thrown into Marquis de Sade's place, and then our other friend meets his zombie end.
The bad guy cannot pick one naughty man outfit and just stick with it the whole time. He's like, I'm Willy Wonka. Now he looks like someone else I've seen before, like some other weird villain or character. Like he can't stick, man. He
can't pick a look.
No way. Oh, Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, man. And and so at the end of the movie, you basically have got, and I unfortunately I didn't have any of images of this in the place where I was grabbing all my screen caps from. But you've got the gentleman from Avengers, whose name always escapes me, which it should never escape me, who is in a wheelchair. He knows the story of this place, the whole story, sordid story of this awful place.
Exposition dump.
And he is going to, go and help them. He talks to him, I can't go. Yeah. I'm in a wheelchair. But then he ends up coming back in his armored wheelchair with all of the people who know the story of this thing. Yeah. And it's a fight to the death.
They're there to tear shit up.
Yep. Tear shit up.
It's awesome.
Yeah. She looks look at this. Wow, she looks about 20 years older in that picture.
I'm telling you, like, I don't know why she was such a thing, man.
She just was a thing. There you go. Well, she's been through some things.
Maybe she's just not my type,
Vaughn, you don't have to listen.
There's so many hotter 80s bitches around that era, man.
You don't have to
in this very movie.
You didn't feed the Mogwai, did you? That's right. That's the shot.
Gizmo.
You didn't feed the Mogwai.
Gizmo put down the bow and arrow.
So they end up with basically taking everything down. He has his meetup with China as now a vampire / ripped cheek.
Kind of last final temptation.
Yeah.
Will he go with bad girl or will he go with Mama's home cooking?
Well, yeah, Mama's home cooking. A little scrambled, but this is the thing, man.
But damn if it doesn't always taste right, no matter what.
Exactly right. That's right. Sawmill great. No, this is going off the rails. Cool. But yeah, so they have their battle. Go ahead. Sorry.
So like the Marquis de Sade comes out and it's straight up cheese fest as our main character who's never used a rapier in his life other than his rapier wit has to take on the Marquis to like win the day and save the girl and everything. So it's totally cheeseball, but you love it anyway because it's kind of hilarious. All the acting's overdone. It's amazing. The bad guy's trying to shoot them, but then everybody's getting shot at the end. They have to burn the place down and bail. I mean, yeah, I guess they'll have to wait till next year to see if they get another Waxwork in their neighborhood,
And the hand escapes, paving the way for the sequel. And I will say
in order to be used to, help some homeless guy out.
Well, and this is the other thing too. Let me see if I can get this here. Let me remove this from the screen.
It's my
and then let me go to share. Let's do stop screen share. Let me do. Wow.
Do what you want, Sean.
Oh, here it is, guys. Yeah. So I don't think I can show any of this, but you never know. But this is an exclusive look. Let me turn the volume off and see if we get in trouble for this. But this was an exclusive look at some of the battle at the end to give you a sense of what we were dealing with. There's our friend in the wheelchair battling it out as the cast talks about it. And yeah, everybody came out for this Blu-ray commentary and for all the talk about this movie because it clearly had a huge impact on a lot of their careers. And so when I'm looking at this flick and I think about it fondly, it is one of those movies that if you're in the mood for monsters, physical, makeup effects, creature effects, and just straight up horror, it is your flick. It's a fun, ridiculous romp. And you'll look at it and you'll go, you can see certain areas where things could have been improved, but at the same time, it's just a blast. And Hale, what is up, my friend? It's great to see you. Well, John was saying that it is available on Tubi to watch free without commercials. Is that right?
That's how I watched it, brah.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, this movie is available.
It's a barrel of laughs. It's great late night drunken laughs with your friends or your lady or whatever, or just alone. Like it was funny as hell. Yeah. I forgot how this movie is great too because it's not just laughs because it's bad. There are those moments, but there's laughs because this movie knows how to not take itself too seriously and have fun. So
yeah,
good times. Awesome actors, actually. It's some of the most hot chicks you're ever going to see in an 80s horror movie, or at least that one.
Yeah.
The other one is the jury's out on the other one.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and Vaughn's like, I chose the one less traveled by. So here's a big thing for me about this
I
flick.
didn't get herpes. Yeah.
And the late 80s. Vaughn is throwing shade. What if she's watching this right now? I mean, how awkward would that be?
I mean, I don't care if you have herpes. It's okay. I don't judge you.
Oh, Vaughn. So the thing I love about this flick, and something that was fun, is around this time, I was, of course, super into horror, as we're here and we're doing what we're doing right now. But I was very into horror, very into werewolf movies. And there was a comic book that came out that was an anthology comic called Splatter. And Tim Vigil did the artwork for it. And it was and there was a werewolf vampire story in it. And I thought and it was just, everything you want to see werewolves and vampires. It was gory. It was sexy. It was just really awesome. Super intense if you know Tim Vigil's stuff. And the thing for me about it was, and yeah, Hale, absolutely. Thank you for dropping the links, John. You're crushing it here. And you were crushing it last night as well in the Double Impact stream. So thank you. But it was the kind of thing to where when I was creating Nosfero and when I'm reading Vaughn's work, it's the stuff you want to see happen in comics. It's the stuff that you want to see happen in comics. And whether, however people go about producing their books, in this, like in my case, if we hit 30K, I'll have Eric helping me with lettering, which would be great, but it's a one-man show, hand painted, page by page. And in Vaughn's case, Vaughn is both a character creator, a writer. He gives, he envisions this world, and then you collaborate with Monica, and you bring this kind of really great, pulp, scary, violent, and sexy, kind of cartoony. I don't know, how do you describe Bruce Timm on steroids? Are we ever going to beat that for a descriptor? No. It's great, man. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's the thing. I mean, this is the stuff that I wanted things to be gritty when I was a kid. And I loved the aesthetics of this flick more than I probably was into, obviously, the storyline. It wasn't like the story captivated me, but I thought, wow, you can do this. It feels like it's Jasper. There's love for Jasper in the chat. Always love for Jasper.
He's the best.
But that's the best thing about it, man.
Yeah.
So did you want to make a movie like this when you saw it? I did. I wanted to learn makeup effects.
I wanted to learn makeup effects. I really wasn't into this movie that much. I was more of a, American Werewolf.
Yeah, me too.
I liked the heavy hitter effects, guys. That turned it into a craft. Like The Thing, what they did with The Thing blew my mind. That made me want to make movies and stuff. James Cameron movies made me want to make movies.
Yes.
Terminator 2 and Aliens made me want to make movies.
Yeah.
I wish he made movies like that with some balls. No, I don't care about blue cat people. Okay.
For me, what you guys see here when you see me working on this stuff with monsters and creatures and painting, the bats flying in the background now in this world, everything that you see here is inspired by that great 80s sensibility of skulls and crypts, but with the capacity of, special effects that we grew up on and we have today, giant monsters. I can do things with scale that I couldn't do, any other.
Oh, yes.
Any other
comic books are the best. They're my favorite. You can do anything and it doesn't cost a thing. Your imagination is the limit. There are, in a way, though, it's so ironic because you could literally describe comics as a claustrophobic art form. And at the same time, there's infinite space within every panel. So it's such a beautiful, I don't even know what to call that. It's kind of a paradox, but it's beautiful. It's not really anything that halts the art or stops it from being amazing. I think you could do more interesting things in comics than in movies in a lot of ways too. So that's it just appeals to me more,
It's not free to make, certainly in terms of time and in terms of money, but it is freer in terms of creativity. And the question I always have for people is, if you're not going to tell the kinds of stories that you're passionate about making comics, then what are you doing it for? You know, I mean, you've got to be doing the stuff what that makes sense.
What's this picture here, Shanth?
This is the top part of a page where his girl has been taken. She's been taken by the vampires, and they want the book, or they're gonna book for the girl, and he's going to get his girl. And
so
that's that.
He's on a mission.
Yep, that's him coming out of the crypt, man. That's where he is.
That looks so cool.
It's gonna be.
I love it.
So freaking fun, man. It is going to be so great.
There's something for me about when a hero is pissed beyond everything and they're just on a mission to save someone, and that's all they want. That's all they like. They'll kill anyone in their way. They don't care. You know what I mean? I love that, and I love that in stories. I have that in a few of mine, actually.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's funny, because I'm reading that stuff, man, and it's like a man ready for war. And that's the thing, right? When you guys see the stuff that happens in Nosfero, and we could say this is tied to Vaughn and I are both pretty well, traveled in terms of our art. We look at art from everywhere, but you guys have seen this. But it's a comic book thing. It's the kind of thing you see manga do, European comics do, and American comics can do it.
Wow, that is beautiful.
Hail to me, Mello. But I was like, the snake's going to wrap around her and take her away. And I go, this is a comic book. How does she live if she's swallowed by it? I don't know, but she does. It's going to swallow her. It's a much more mythic image, and it's much more powerful if that's the way it goes.
Well, if the snake doesn't want to kill her, then I believe that she would live inside of it, and it's just storing her,
Yeah. That's what we're after, is to make these things like, it's funny because I wasn't even thinking about it till, today, but it's like you see the mummy stuff, and then you see the stuff we're doing with layouts, on this page right here, which I cannot wait to paint. There she is, on the sacrificial slab. There is Lascivia. There's going to be Drake Thulu, and there's your hero working his way up the stairs, man.
Your books have really powerful imagery, and it's like you're getting all your jollies out in one book.
That's the plan.
That's just how you're going to do every book, so it works. You know what I'm saying? So
every book is handled the same way. If this is the last book I do,
then
it's
you're
gotta
happy
be
then.
great.
Yeah,
it's got to be great. And
it's good.
Dude,
you're killing me with this. You're gonna if the Eisners don't knock your door down.
Well, dude, listen. I will.
I mean, not that anyone takes them seriously anymore. Anyway,
Look, the big thing is, and we talk about this stuff all the time, man. You know this is that if we want to be able to make a business out of this, right? That's the biggest thing. And for me, and the way that I work and the way that you work, it has to do with crafting these stories and building these things to last, building a library for the people who back our books. Like if you have every Vaughn book, you have got this collection. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, David Brohawk Williams? It's great to see you. Yeah, get your jollies out, says the man himself right there. King.
That's right.
David Brohawk Williams. And that's really what it comes down to. And when I do a book, it's a huge commitment of time. Huge commitment, obviously, because everything's hand painted, but you want it to be great. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's what you're doing, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what the goal is, man. So just getting the word out and helping to grow the audience. That's pretty much what it's about for us.
We're artists who get to do whatever the hell we damn well please, and everybody's gonna have to deal with that no matter what. And I love that. I love being a little bit of a controversial artist in my time. And but for me, really, in the end, it's about getting to work with a lot of cool artists and talk with you guys and get insights.
Well said.
And connect in cool ways, because the internet is magic. I mean, it really is. It lets us teleport our thoughts and ideas to the fans in a new way. We're not just in our, homes alone working all the time. We actually have friends we can lean on and talk to, and CG and fans keeping us going and supporting us. It's an amazing thing. We have it in a weird way. You could say, oh, we have it hard. The industry sucks and everyone's an SJW now and blah. Man, we really do have it easy too in a lot of ways. Like,
we do.
We're getting to connect in a revolutionary way that they're gonna have to talk about in the history books one day, man.
Yeah.
When all this goes down too, as DC goes down and everything goes down, they're gonna have to talk about why and if they're honest about it, if they want to be good art historians and do their jobs, they're gonna have to be honest about why it went down. And they're going to have to talk about why people like Ethan and stuff stepped up and then did these big campaigns showing that there was a different market. I mean, with that, we're going to have to be part of. We're part of history now.
Image was
whether they report on us or not.
Yeah, Image was absolutely and absolutely back to work for me. Says David Brohawk Williams. Have a good night, people. Stay blessed. You too, my friend. And this is the thing, right? When we're looking at this stuff and we're seeing what we're doing here, I look at Frank Frazetta's work. I look at Richard Corbin, who's a major hero of mine. Nice. Love Richard Corbin stuff, because when I look at Richard Corbin stuff and I look at all of these artists, and Frazetta in particular, every single image he made, he was trying to make something that would be iconic, that would last. So he poured himself into those paintings. It's a strange thing to be viewing a comic book that way because of the multi-panel setup of it. But that is the thing. I try to design an iconic page that's a painting that can stand on its own aesthetically. And that's the thing to me that, that's just that you're afforded in the sense of people will back you. The big thing is that you've got a lot of people taking a leap of faith on those first books. And, when you've done, I've done 2 art books and you've done, how many books have you done? You've done Monster MD. Yeah. But I'm trying to think of, I'm sorry, books you're working on now. Never mind. Other things. You're working on many of things at the moment. Yeah. So but what I mean to say is, in terms of you're in the Voniverse, if I want to call it that, the Rise Again. Comics, man. You've got Monster MD, and once people saw Monster MD and how amazing it is, they're like, okay, I know what this is about. And my attitude has always been that when you get to this phase, and you are lucky if you can find that group of people who are just so passionate about the stuff and build going forward. And I think that Terror is just another one of those books in that library that's just going to make it broader. I mean, the side characters in Terror are nuts, and people haven't even met my first round of characters, really met them yet. So that's going to be the fun part,
Right. Book 2 is such a great unleashing of Sawback and Lockshot. Terror has to fight both of them in these just brutal battles. The type of battles that you don't really see in book 1. So it's a different book, but it's better because a lot of the cool stuff I set up in book 1 starts getting paid off. It's just exciting, man. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
I mean, and you said it very well, and I think it's the case is that if you look at, Image was seen as something that was outside of the industry. Mirage Studios and Ninja Turtles were outside of, quote, the industry. Looking back, they defined their eras. Books like The Rocketeer had such a huge impact on all of this stuff. And I think that, the proof is going to be in what the book is when it's done and how people respond to it. And there's no but I mean, like, in terms of down the road, I have faith, Vaughn. I have faith. But, it's great, man.
I'm better at making books now than I've ever been. Terror was interesting because as a script, I was like, damn, I'm so much better at writing now. But now when I look at it, of course, I'm like, damn, that's dated. I got to update this. I got to fix that. Mm-hmm. So I would approach the script maybe a little differently now, but I like it. It's still such a solid, great script. It's so good. It's only going to get better once Eric and I finish the letters, and book 2's even, my writing gets better and better. And I started to find myself as a writer while working on this script, to be honest. Figuring out that I like those drawn out battles that tell a story a little bit more in my work, things like that. So all these things that I did in Black Terror are now I'm noticing are in all these new books and projects I've been working on behind the scenes. And it's become just staples of what I do, how I like it.
Do you find that, and this is something I think Eric Weathers was talking about, behind the scenes, is that, and I think actually we talked about it on stream too. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes, but that working on, short stories or other projects for other creators helps sharpen you for your next project. Because I feel like I had a huge jump on this double page spread I'm working on for John, and it's of my own character. So it was kind of shocking to me that was where a jump took place. But it was almost because I wasn't thinking about the story as much when I was working on that painting that it almost freed me up. Do you find that when you're working on not your own stuff, that it helps you to have growth as an artist, or no?
Yes, 100%. Everything I work on is potential to learn and grow, man.
Yeah.
When you work on stuff with people, you can learn what you do that works and what you do that doesn't work, you know, and you can learn. I learned about needing to take breaths in my work a little bit more. And I love my work more than ever now that I'm taking these little breaths with the scenes, and the scenes are becoming more like real, like have a beginning, middle, end, kind of more realized, if you will. So it's really fun to work on other people's stuff because you bring what you bring to the table, but you challenge yourself to see if you can also deliver, because you have to live within their rules, their paradigm, you know, their parameters. So you do that. And when you do that right and make them happy, I think you become a better writer. You definitely learn new tips and tricks for handling other people's stuff. You know what I mean? And and just for storytelling in general. Yeah. Like I said, I make sure to take breaths now rather than making my work like this fast punk rock, like chop, chop, chop. It's got more of a, we have these fun moments now. So it knows how to downshift. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, I mean, working on, there were a couple of projects that went together. You've seen them. I mean, I've shown them a bunch of times. I got to try not to show that piece that's for somebody else, for you and for John. But when I did this one right here, which you've seen a ton of, which is the hold on a second.
Oh, well.
Let me see if I can make
here.
Oh
yeah. You know, look at that, man. Look at that Breakfast Club guy in the back.
That's right, man. He's saying, "Don't you forget about me." Yeah, and so when I was working on this, it just took me out of my regular stuff that I do. And every single project is breathes their breaths. That's right. There you go. Yeah, it's the truth is somewhere in between.
I need to add breasts to my work. I do agree on with that.
Listen, I mean, I wasn't saying
There's plenty though.
Yeah, exactly. There's a fair few. But this one, when I was looking at this the other day, for people who are people who backed this tier, where the heck is it?
My tears, baby.
My tears. I was looking at this the other day, which is the first art book that I did. So this is going back to 2000. What is this? 19. So this artwork is not from that period, but it's from before that period. Dedication: Alphonse Mucha, Frank Frazetta, Guillermo del Toro. Introduction. So this is what the books look like when they're there. But I was looking at all of the stuff I did in this book.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I like it. It's great. But it was one of those things where you think, okay, I can do better than this. You know, I can do more. And to see, you know, the fact that I'm about to, you know, finish I'm 9 pages off from finishing. And then, of course, the graphic design and all of the fun stuff. But
you're almost done with...
Yeah, what the painted part is the biggest part of it, right? Is, you know, to do my third book since, you know, 2019, or, you know, it is just crazy for me to think about, because all of these books become things that, you know, down the line, I can use this artwork in other ways, you know, as prints or whatever else I want to do with them. But for right now, Nosfero is everything, man. You know, I mean, it's like, that's the thing that is, you know, is making this, you know, getting books to people and creating stuff.
That's awesome. Look at that blonde on top of that rhino.
There you go.
With the dagger. That's exactly the character I wrote for Narwhal Cave Slave.
Yeah.
That's her, man.
That's my jam, man.
Dude, if you painted my script, Cave Slave, oh my God.
Yeah, this is my cave / jungle girl. You know, battling it out.
This is the most badass shit. Are you kidding me with the skulls? Would you piss off, you talented mother effer?
Dude, people are like, this is the, you know, this.
Look at that, the Kong. Oh, I like that.
And do you see her down underwater trying to rescue the baby?
Wait, is that a human trying to rescue a baby?
Yes.
Gorilla?
That's her.
You're insane.
That was the idea, to do a water level battle on 2 levels.
Oh no, but there's baby alligators staring them down.
Yep. And for her, they are.
You tell stories. You tell stories, man.
Dude, that's the thing though. But at the end of the day, the stories.
My mom would love that print if you ever have a print of that.
Oh yeah, well,
loves Kong.
That's what it's about for me, man. It's about making the monsters. This one's dedicated to the missus, but this is one of the favorite ones. You know, you've got the big gorilla hand holding both the baby and the woman who's taking care of the baby gorilla, and there you go. But that's the stuff for me. And of course, the fun thing about making books, and I'm sure you do this in your stuff. I can't wait to get my hard copies of your stuff. But there's the behind the scenes. Like, here was the material I was using. Here's the sketch process. There's the sketch for that piece. Here's progress.
Sean, and you put this book together, like all these layouts and everything?
Yeah,
yourself?
I did every single thing
Very
in
nice.
this book, man. It's
Very
like, that's the key, man. That's how we make it possible.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, man. And let me see here. Let me check the chat and see how you guys are doing. But I want to see if I can find 1 second, guys, because I've actually got a pretty decent camera set up here. Well, Vaughn is grabbing things. I'm hoping grabbing books and fun things. But book 2 and Nosfero is going to be the third book that I self-published through Shanth Enjeti Art. But book 3, if I can adjust that right there. Book 3 is this one right here. Vampires and Diaphanous Nightgowns that started me on my way to Nosfero. And that was the key, man. Yeah, and Gigavox says right here, once you start doing stuff for free, others will try and take advantage of it. Then you hear you did it for them stuff. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's scary. Yeah, build a reputation. Is it good to do a few art pieces for free? My attitude is, in general, make whatever artwork you want to make. Don't do things that you would only do if it was a job for free. That's just for me, because my personal take on that, because I think you have to let people know that your time is money. Like your time is finite. And so when we're doing this stuff, when I do this book, I have to do every single thing I can.
People will take advantage of you with the whole do it for free for exposure, bro.
Yeah.
Don't fall for that word, exposure. Those people are they're just users, man.
Yeah, don't do it. It's like we do things for, those of us who are working and doing stuff, we do stuff for each other from time to time, of course. And that stuff happens, but at the same time, we know the difference between a job and not a job. You know what I'm saying? And it's a very strange thing, but I always think that people used to tell me, like I would do stuff as a teacher, do things for people for free and do all this stuff. And people would say to me, you shouldn't be doing that for free. And I thought it was like a casual turn of phrase. And then I realized over time that it's because that's exactly what they think they were telling me. Like they would never do anything. And so you go, oh, like it's great, but it's not a good way to operate. You do things we all do things for people because they're friends or things like that, but you can't let that get into your work. You got to charge for your time. It's just one of those things. Vaughn, what other thoughts?
I don't know, man. I think about my work. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I want to make all these really badass stories and have like a really cool library of me on your shelf that makes you happy.
Amen.
And I want to explore, but my work is personal. Like I like getting to explore these characters.
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
And I like having things go my way in a way that I know creates an entertainment that people aren't used to, and yet they can't get enough of. Like it's very familiar, yet it's new, is what it seems to be the reaction. I don't know. But in the end, I'm starting to realize a lot of my ideas come from just being fed up with the elites. Like I have fantasy. I think if someone put enough money and time behind me and let me people are doing that right now.
Yes.
I'm creating books for people about killing the elites, actually. But here's the thing. It's like if more people, like if I can keep making money and do well with this, if I can, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I can put out more books faster. I know you guys are going to start to get me more.
Yes.
And hopefully like what I'm laying down. And so it's the patience required to do comics and wait for it. It's just it's breaking my bones, man, and my neck with the stress, baby. It's neck breaking. So but it's going to happen. I just need to be patient. My name's on all these other different little things that are popping up and coming out here and there. Lady Alchemy's coming soon. It's going to print. There's things like that happening. So yeah, that's cool, man. But at the same time, I just want people to get me in a weird way. I want to offer this weird concoction of what I find entertaining as hell and interesting to the world, and just hopefully you enjoy it. I mean, and I can build some sort of a career off of each book. Each book can bring it, keep me going and get me to the next book. Because I keep coming up with story ideas and I can't get them down fast enough. It's driving me nuts. I came up with it, except I was thinking about, like, why is my work so dark? Like, is that all I am? And then I came up with a really good kid story last night. So it's whatever, my heart is in the right, whatever, you just follow what you want to make and it's fine. You're going to have a good time. You know what I mean? Don't question it too much. I kind of have fun, Shanth, being able to be like, I want to do my version of a spy thriller. Okay, well, now I want to do my version of, a boy, like a child adventure, like more for kids. Now I want to do, now I want to do more of like a serial killer tale. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all just whatever I want to explore, man. Isn't that the point? Like, this is not, I'm not just writing these stories randomly. This is how I also get through life, if that makes sense, how I process. Because I craft stuff to have to be able to get through shit at the end of the day. Like, my work keeps me going, I guess. If I don't get to work, I start to feel terrible.
Yeah, and I think Jordan Peterson had that great bit of advice that I always think about, where he said, don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday or last year or the day before. And I think I look at the work I'm doing, and I feel very fortunate to be able to get the work out there in front of eyeballs so people could see it. And that really started with Instagram, guys. I mean, there was this really great article that this guy wrote, or this great series of posts, and I loved it. And I'm going to see if I can find it for you guys, because it really is important. Let me see if I can find this.
Oh gosh, we went from welcome to the Waxwork to full-on life lessons.
Well, sometimes listen, man, that's where we go, man. That's where we go. But I don't know if I can find it, but this guy had written this series of tweets or whatever the hell it was. And it was basically about, how to, quote, get rich or gain wealth without getting lucky. And it wasn't walk on hot coals, that kind of thing. It was very much common sense things, like take risks under your own name. Don't take, do things that you can have people associate back to you. You'll then have to take accountability for what you do, but you'll also, that's the only way you'll gain benefits. Create things that you own that you can build equity in, like books, blogs, music, code, like, just giving you basic ideas of that. And then when you create content, that you own, intellectual properties, there's things that you can republish and you can sell. And now those things take time. But the biggest one that I loved that he gave as far as advice goes is, he goes, there's two kinds of people that you're going to run into. People who are playing status games and people who are playing wealth creation games. Don't spend time with people playing status games, because they spend all of their time making fun of people playing wealth creation games. Find people who are motivated, who keep their word, and who work hard. That's really what it's about, and who are interested in succeeding and building. And I think that's what's been so great about Comicsgate, and that's what's been so great about the kind of fellowship of working here, is that the people I associate with are highly motivated, and they drive me and help me, to feel inspired. Although I got to be honest, I'm driven from the second I wake up in the morning to get stuff done. Even putting together the show for you guys, that's a big part of it, is that, we want to make stuff that is inspiring to people. And that's a great thing to have. And we ask tough questions of our own work every day. How can I get more eyeballs in front of this? How can I get more people to hear about Nosfero and do this, and, grow this thing and make it bigger? But those are questions that you answer by a lot of A/B testing. And I think it's it's a great place to kind of be in terms of our headspaces, to ask useful questions and have people you can bounce ideas off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps. Or just a vent too about the hell that is being your own artist, writer, promoter.
That's right.
Pay all the artists, you manage the team, you schedule everything, you run the campaign, you promote the campaign. Did I promote today? I don't know. I better just promote again just in case. You start to I swear to God, I just want like a day without work for like a minute.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I get these certain things that I'm working on done, I'm going to be getting, guys, I'm writing my epic space opera, giant robot sci-fi adventure. I mean, come on, this is fun. I don't want to stop writing these. I want to get all this stuff down. You know what I mean? Feels like I just don't have enough time. So it's hard, man. You got to keep, because I want to keep my house actually clean too. You know what I mean? And keep my body in shape too. So it's like,
what? No. Yeah.
You balance. You try to balance. You do. At least I
do.
get out of the house at least 3 times. Play with my dog.
That's right.
Run around the house. Whatever. But it's, I don't know. I love what I do, but I also get frustrated when I don't get to do the creative side because it's just been the business all the live long day,
Yeah, well, it's that Tyson quote, man. I think the biggest thing about painting that is the funniest part about being a painter and doing this kind of stuff with your work is, it definitely. But I think that painting looks fun, to people. Like, and I enjoy it. Let me be clear. But it is my work, right? And it's that Mike Tyson quote: "Discipline is doing something you want to do, like you love it when you don't want to."
Yep.
And when I sit around and I'm painting, there's the moments where it's a joy start with me forcing myself to the desk to get it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that really is what it's about. And
Just
once you get going, because and this is the weirdest part of it, right? Is when you're this is book 3 and you're treating it like a job, and no one is sitting around there going, "Hey, are you going to get that done? Hey, you're going to get that done." You have to really be motivated like you can't imagine before anybody thinks about jumping in making books. If I could give anybody advice out there about doing this, is try to, on some level, put out a book or 2. It doesn't even matter. Sit down and try to draw an entire comic, whatever it is, and just get the experience to find out if it's something you're really into. I've been painting every single day for a work day, pretty much for the last large chunk of my life. But I would say without a doubt on, since I've been in CG working on this book, it's every single day, but since book 1, and if you're going to get tired, you will get tired. You'll learn about what your stamina is. And that's why I think one of the big things that we've got to do is we've got to make sure that when we're looking at this stuff and we're thinking about, okay, well, what are we going to do? What are the most important things to do? What's up, Jim Cox? Great to see you. I don't want no haunted pancakes, Jim Cox. I understand. I'm not going to force you to have haunted pancakes. Don't you worry, Jim Cox. We got your back. But the thing I got to say is, and I want to make sure I share this because this is a big deal, is that the most important thing to have going on in whatever your pursuits are is making sure you have people around you who celebrate those milestones that happen. And right now, we're looking at Vaughn with 1,200 backers, Vaughn. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Happy. It's an awesome amount of people that have backed this. I'm honored. I didn't know if I made 50K, that was the goal. 50, baby. We've totally surpassed that. I'm blown away. Thank you all so much. Terror in the Trenches is going. I'm telling you guys, there's something else happening here with my books. I don't know what to call it. Maybe it's just not for you. I don't know what it's going to be, but whatever it is, it's powerful. It's hitting people. It's, I don't know. I don't even know what to describe it as. It's just the things I like. in one place in the way I like to tell a story. You know what I mean? It's what I feel like comics is missing. And I think Black Terror deserved a story worthy of making him a character we could get into and be interested in. So here it is, man. I'm proud of it. The team
should be proud of it, man.
on it.
You should be proud of it, man. I mean, this is the thing, right? It's like when I look at this stuff and I'm looking at what you're doing, and someone was saying, weren't there some issues on this campaign with what do you call it? With Indiegogo. And I'll tell you guys, social media and crowdfunding and all of this stuff, these are platforms. They're going to come and go. The thing that you always want to remember is it's, where's MySpace right now? Shoot, are people on Facebook? I mean, there's not even that much of that going on right now. And, Instagram didn't exist before, a couple of years before I started using it. And that's what I built things on. But the main thing is doing the work. And Jim Cox says, based on the writing of Monster MD, I do recommend this book. I agree with you, Jim Cox. Monster MD is fantastic. Yeah. Oh, hit me up on ICQ. There you go. And the thing for me about it is that when I look at where Nosfero is, I'm like, I want to get to 500 backers, but I really want to get to that 30K stretch goal so I can get Eric to do the letters. That's the big thing. But this was none of the stuff, even with the 2 other art books, none of this stuff was anything that I thought was guaranteed from the start at all. Like these were not things that I thought, oh, this is exactly how it's going to go. It was not. We try to figure out. Like,
you rolled the dice.
Yeah, you did, man. It's like you do when you do this stuff. You absolutely, are rolling the dice, and so
you're betting on yourself. Do you know the balls it takes?
Yeah,
to fucking do that.
Yep.
You got to be crazy.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I heard Liam's over in Ethan's talking about me.
Yeah, but it's terrifying.
I love that I'm not got that deep under his skin from like a single misunderstanding interaction like 2 or 3 years ago.
I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised at all.
That guy, what a chump.
These are my first 2 art books right here, guys. For those of you guys wondering, it's like Vaughn and I were just talking about this earlier. Some of you guys backed at this tier and you're going to be getting these, but this is what it is. It's like how many pages and dealing with printers later do you put this stuff together and you learn how this stuff works. It takes a lot of discipline and a lot of working. Yeah. Bum fights at EVS's. Hail Jim Cox. Yeah. It sounds like it, man. Throw
the ham sandwich in between them. See what happens.
Exactly. Let's just see where it goes, Yeah, indeed. So, guys, here's what we're going to do. Thank you guys for tuning in and checking this stuff out. I'm late and everything is going on all at once. Everything's going on all at once. That's right.
Oh, it's crazy.
KSS, we're just about to wrap up, my friend. So, sorry we're late here. Liam is over there being unstable. I couldn't take more than a few minutes.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday, KSS.
I bet the remix is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I bet the remix is going to be a thing of beauty. So we're going to wrap up here, and Vaughn, we'll shoot the shit for a little bit afterwards, if you don't mind, for a little bit, man. Not too long. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming by the Waffle Lodge of Horror. This has been Shanth, and this has been Vaughn as well over here. And we appreciate you guys coming in to hear us talk about Waxwork. All right. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Take care.
We all get a little mad sometimes. Haven't you? People always go mad in some places.